Alrighty. So welcome, ladies and gents, to a good old 1v1 Age of Empires 2 game. You've probably seen a lot of Arena over the past, well, or however long you've been watching me. You've probably seen a lot of Arena. Arena is a map we focus on a lot. This game is a bit more unique than anyone you've probably seen. This does not mean that it's the craziest Arena game we've ever seen, but there's something in particular that happens in this game that snowballs to a level that maybe you've never seen. So just keep an eye out for it. We've got Doubt in the blue. Needs no introduction. The Lord of Age of Empires. Really fun player. Big thing about Doubt is every time he plays, he's always doing something creative. By the way, this is a bug. We're going to put FedEx up here and I'll explain. So Doubt's playing as the Grajaras. And then in the red, his opponent, playing as the Poles, is FedEx. Now, I've given some interesting little backstories to players before. I'm going to do it again here with FedEx, and I don't know how many of you know this, but FedEx is a really, really good player in regards to chess. So he's a grandmaster in chess. I'm not a big chess guy myself, so apologies if I can't give him like the full chess intro, but he's good enough at chess where he's traveled around the world and competed in chess events. I actually helped crowdfund one of his travels to an event like 2 years ago. Because he put something out there. I saw something on Twitter, and I was just like, man, that's really cool. I want to, Age of Empires 2 people should support each other. So anyways, FedEx has been around Age of Empires 2 for a very long time. There was a time where he competed in events. Now he doesn't really do that too much. But he's 2,300 rated right now, which is top 100. And he prefers to play closed maps. But anyways, I just wanted to add that little bit of introduction there with FedEx, because I thought that was pretty cool. I do actually remember a game. I haven't thought of this in a long time. I was casting him in maybe 2015 or 2016. And I think Dave and I were casting it. And the whole goal of the cast was just how many FedEx jokes can we do, right? So we're like, oh, man, he's shipping in the archers here. Oh, that's next day delivery on that mangonel shot. I haven't thought about it in a long time. So anyways, the point is FedEx is good. And since FedEx is an old timer, Doubt knows him very well. Right? So Doubt and FedEx probably played hundreds of games against each other. So I don't know the situation here. I don't know if it was random civilization. It kind of feels like maybe a pick civ situation because Poles are so good on Arena. I've actually had a bit of banter with FedEx this week because he twice now has alt F4'd because the map was an Arena. He didn't want to play like Northern Isles or anything. He'd alt F4. And even just yesterday, I was playing against FedEx. Or that's what the system told me. And then he alt F4'd. And there's a dashboard where top players can type and whatnot. And I said, FedEx, pro at chess and alt F4. And I get into a game against another Argentinian next. And he immediately goes, I just talked to FedEx and he said unban Arena. So the point is, FedEx is a troller boy, man. FedEx is a troller boy. I like to add these little stories. But yeah, I mean, the Polish meta is normally to go for a big economy, okay? So you had our nice little intro, all our little stories. I don't want to... It's so funny, man. Like, I'm currently casting this live, and I don't want to spoil what's going to happen for people, but with the nature of YouTube titles and YouTube thumbnails, there's always some small spoilers in those titles and thumbnails too. So it's like, I'm saying I don't want to spoil what's going to happen, get to it right now, but I know that to some degree, you guys, if you're watching later on YouTube, have an idea of what's coming. But this is gonna be cool, okay? This is gonna be cool. So actually, you know what? Let's do a little bit of speeding up. I really don't want to talk about the Polish bonuses and the Grajara bonuses that frequently. And okay, this is the point of the game where it gets interesting. Watch this. This is epic. Okay, so we have Doubt and we have FedEx fighting in the middle, and FedEx is chasing Doubt. Now, sometimes you don't want to go too far in there, but what you can do to be annoying is you can stop your scout underneath the opponent's gate. Now, that gate is open. So, in theory, you could bring 15 villagers in. You could bring an army in. Now, what Doubt wants to do is he wants to attack, or at least do this, and lure FedEx away, because he doesn't want FedEx to be able to run in. So, Doubt ran out so FedEx would leave, and now, look, FedEx is doing it again. Now, we've seen this before, okay? This is not new, but what this turns into is very unique. Trust me on that, okay? So FedEx is just sitting there, and FedEx says, Vill's coming. And Doubt says yes. The FedEx is trolling. He's like, I'm bringing villagers into your base now. We're going to turn this into Arabia. And look, Doubt's trying to get him trapped in there. Oh, man. Now, the funny side note here is that in Dark Age, the Scout and the Camel Scout are very even in a fight. And now FedEx says, okay, GB, which means, okay, go back. And Doubt says no, because in Feudal Age, the Camel Scout gets bonus damage, and the Camel Scout will shred that Scout. So as fun as FedEx was having with that, he knows that he doesn't want to lose his Scout. And so now he's just going to go home. And that's not where the action really ends here, okay? So this game continues, and again, just keep an eye out for this. Meanwhile, over here, it looks like FedEx is going for a bit of a boom build. We haven't seen a barracks from him. Sometimes you'll see a barracks, and then you'll see a stable. Players will make scouts. It just seems like FedEx is going to be happy enough to maybe just go for a lot of town centers. The map is super good, right? Like a town center here, you've got wood, you've got gold, you've got stone. This gold could be a little awkward if there's aggression, but it's still pretty far back. Lots of additional farm space back here as well with the poles is really nice. And this is where you don't want to be playing any fancy games here if you are FedEx. Fortunately for FedEx, he does reach Feudal Age slightly faster, but now he's got to run. Now watch this, okay? So FedEx said no with the taunt, like, hey, don't fight me. FedEx's scout will absolutely die if he takes an engagement. And now FedEx says, go back. And Doubt says, it's okay. No. And FedEx says, no, you win. And I'm sure Doubt knew that when he said it's okay. That was kind of the point. And Doubt says, let's test. Now just watch this, okay? And remember what happened earlier. And FedEx says, no, thank you. This is what I love about ranked games, by the way. I just love how many different things we see. And when you've got history between the players, especially, they love the troll. So, okay. Here goes FedEx. FedEx said, no, thank you. And he's trying to get back home. So here he goes. And then there's Doubt's Camel Scout. Now, if you look at Doubt, Doubt is adding more scouts. So he's going to have more scouts on the field. And for FedEx, he is not. The FedEx is simply just going to drop 2 town centers and go for a crazy economy. He might be thinking about a monastery too. Sometimes you'll still see that, but from the looks of it, with how much wood he's banking, he just wants to drop town centers. Now, FedEx was actually able to escape with his scout for the time being, which is nice because he can scout for other relics and whatever else. But yeah, if Doubt finds him, Doubt will win that fight one way or another. The Camel Scout will win, or the scout that's on full HP will end up winning. And I think Doubt just caught a glimpse of that there. I'm not too sure. Okay, so remember, this is Doubt we're talking about, right? When he plays ranked games, he likes to do some different things. But for the time being, this is just a standard game. And he's looking around, hasn't been able to find the weak scout here from FedEx. And FedEx says, I saw you. And Doubt didn't see him. And I love this. I love the chat. This is why I was chatting with FedEx, saying he's a pro chess player in Alt F4, you know? Okay. So FedEx being pretty bold here. A lot of players will bring this scout home and heal it up, but he just drops the town centers. Poles have a crazy economy if they can do this. So he's just accepting, I'm going to have the better economy here. And then he is going to have the relics. Now watch this moment, guys. You remember what FedEx did earlier? Well, Doubt has his own opportunity. 15 minutes in, FedEx has to decide on if he saves this thing or not. And now Doubt's under his gate. But Doubt has more army. Before, FedEx just had a scout. But now Doubt has friends. So Doubt says, ooh, that was a really good idea. Thanks for the idea. And now he wanders in here. And FedEx is probably like, are you freaking kidding me, man? Are you kidding me? And he says, GB, like, go back. Because he's probably like, I went back. You need to go back too. And he's freaking out because he's got Loom. And Doubt just says, let me see. Like, I want to see what you've got in here so I can make a decision on what I do. So, quick walls from FedEx. Despite him loving Arena, he is fast. He can use his speed. But, you know, farms have to be abandoned. There's idle time inside the TC. This is annoying. And now FedEx, you know, he can't actually fight off this light cap because his scout's weak. So he's actually got to complete this. And he's like, hey, no, get off my farms. Now, guys, I was watching. Well, I'll just say it. So I was watching Doubt's stream when he did this. And again, like, Doubt's my favorite player, man. And Doubt, he got in here, and it was already funny enough. And Doubt goes, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't try this. Could have just continued the whole game, got all the relics, and still been a really fun moment. But he recognized that this is such a unique scenario, and it's just a couple, elo. Who cares about rank, right? He just says, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't do this. So is he getting the relics? Nope. He's bringing villagers. He's bringing monks. And he's on gold right now. He's not on stone, but he's buying stone. Now, this is unique from FedEx, because FedEx knows how dangerous this is. This gate's been open a long time. And now FedEx is placing a house here, which does actually make it difficult for Doubt to be able to get through there. And Doubt's sending the boys and girls, all right? So, and now the light cap has to attack the house. You also have to be careful because you don't want to attack the house and then follow through. So I guess the monk standing there will still keep the gate open. FedEx is still trying to get onto the farming eco that he otherwise would have had. It's still very difficult for him. And now FedEx is going to see villagers. And again, this is already awkward and annoying, but now this is just going to be so much worse. And Doubt just spent this whole time trying to buy a freaking castle. He didn't even mine any stone. And FedEx sees this, and FedEx wants to stop this. And FedEx loses his scout to a conversion, and he's dropping a panic tower here because he needs some way to stop this. And Doubt's castle now is at 40%. Yes, this is probably peak Doubt. This is the most Doubt thing you'll ever see. He is losing some of his light cap back here. But Doubt doesn't have Loom. I forgot to mention that. Doubt also doesn't have Loom, the player who's, kind of known for placing risky castles. And let's see if he completes it here. He does get Loom finally, and he is going to complete the castle. Ay. Again, Doubt said I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't try this. So now he's got a castle up on FedEx's main gold. So here's where it gets interesting, right? Because Doubt's economy isn't that great. He now doesn't have light cap in the back, so FedEx could, start to farm more. And, Doubt's just going to sit here and mine gold, but he's only going to have some chakram throwers, so we don't know really what this turns into. I think, in theory, FedEx could have crazy farms in a second, but when you have the possibility of pressure on the front, that's never easy. So Doubt's at 42 eco. But FedEx is just at 43. And the goal here for FedEx needs to be better economy and then pushing your opponent back. So he's got a Scorpion for now. He's got a Monk or two. He's got the TCs. The Chakrams are probably not going to be able to push past this area. But already, before we even see the rest of this game, I want YouTube comments on this later on. Is this not one of the more unique games you've seen on Arena? That's hilarious. The fact that both players stood inside of or underneath the opponent's gate at one point, and they both had a conversation, but then Doubt actually turned that into a forward castle drop was just epic. And he's bought so much stone. Look at the price of stone right now. He's trying to buy another one. He is actually mining stone now too. He is also trying to get some of those relics. But I could tell you exactly what FedEx's plan is. So you got one of two options, right? Option one is you ram everything down with some military support. Not a big fan of that option because you never know if Doubt's going to have more stable units or what. The other option would be place tons of farms, which he's doing, get your own castle, and then go for Trebs. Right? And Doubt is committing 2 castles to this spot. If you can get to Imp and make trebuchets, Doubt could lose all those castles, and you could possibly come back. Especially because FedEx doesn't know how committed Doubt is to the boom. Right? But what's Doubt going to do? Is he going to try and go Imp as well? No, of course not. He's going to get unique tech, Chatrias here, and that means the food cost on all of your military units, I think it applies to the siege units as well, right? Is 25% off. I actually think it's one of the best unique techs in the game right now. There's a lot of reasons the Grajaros are doing well. That's one of them. But anyways, because Doubt's going to commit to this, and Doubt's going to add a siege workshop. So Doubt is thinking of elephants. Funnily enough, I actually think that it would be better for Doubt if he had a civilization that just had regular rams, because that would only cost wood and gold, which should be easier to come by right now than the food, but yeah, the siege units should also be discounted. But you can see the approach for FedEx. He currently has no gold, which is horrible, because if you were to take this gold, his villagers would die. Thankfully for him, he's poles, though, so he's mining away on the stone and still receiving some gold income. And while Doubt doesn't have a lot of follow-up right now, it looks like he's actually shooting this gate so he could eventually run through. Here, this is kind of funny. Chakrams, I think, do 1 damage to each other. That monk is healing the Chakram on the other side. But FedEx is held. FedEx is somehow held. So now, the whole strategy for FedEx is, you know, treb down these castles, hope that Doubt doesn't have a lot of eco behind this. But the whole strategy's out the window if you don't somehow keep your castle up. Because you can't... The whole goal is trebs. So here come these armored elephants. Also, Gurjara elephants do 30% more bonus damage to buildings because of the mounted units doing additional bonus damage bonus. Is Doubt going to stop at 2 castles? He could have stopped at 1. No, he's not. He's going to drop another castle here. Is it questionable? Maybe for another player. For Doubt, I think it's just right. And these armored elephants are going to town. You can see FedEx is like, oh crap, I need to kill these things. So he's going to hop out here. I don't know if that was intentional. Distracting the aggro from the castle fire. That almost looked intentional. That was really smart. But Doubt noticed it. And so Doubt tasked the castle units there. Or sorry, the castle fire to the units. And so far, Doubt has lost 2 elephants. But he's coming in with more support. He's still building a castle here. And with FedEx 50 seconds away from Imp, he still doesn't have a lot of gold income. His farms are all exposed. He's starting to drop more barracks. And he still is at risk of possibly losing this castle. 3 castles inside of FedEx's base because FedEx opened the gate. You picked the wrong guy to troll, FedEx. You picked the wrong guy to troll. And he's just still trying desperately. Yeah. He is going to need a market now, so he could maybe sell some resources for gold. And he will make it to Imp. This is just so awkward, though. Oh, man. Okay, takes out another elephant. Thud, 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 thud. More elephants on the way. Shravamshas as well. Pretty good against arrow fire. FedEx quick walling here, trying to keep the Shravamshas away. And this is actually a really good move. Adding a Mangonel behind this when it's walled in could help take out those rams. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Look at this base. FedEx cannot afford a trebuchet, by the way. Well, actually, maybe he can get one now. Doubt choosing to raid the other side in the meantime. FedEx has got so many different areas to look at right now. And Doubt abandons taking down the castle. FedEx is finally making a treb. Which is awesome for FedEx. I'm actually really impressed that FedEx is able to survive to this point against 3 castles where he can make a treb. And maybe, just maybe, there's a world where he could somehow take out Doubt's castles. But I think Doubt's just going to shift focus here. Because he knows the Mangonel is the move to defend the castle. And he's going to say, well, screw your castle. I'm just going to take your town centers then. By the way, Doubt's economy is looking better and better behind this. He does also have the 5 relics. He's killed 30 villagers in this game. And just when FedEx thought, maybe I've done this, maybe I've held on, he's now going to have to use mainly villagers over here to defend this whole push. Doubt's getting Bodkin Arrow. That's not for his units that he's attacking with. That's actually just for his castles. Because that's going to help a lot against villagers. Even the other castle, like the castle from FedEx, right? I mean, here he's shooting down a TC. Here he's shooting the castle. And, oh, man, these elephants are taking out the TC so quickly, man. Doubt just says, I'll stay in Castle Age. I'll keep producing army. I'll keep killing your villagers. What are you going to do about it? And FedEx says GG Civ Hacker. And Doubt says GG as well. And that ends a really funny game. I don't know what I'm going to title that one for YouTube. I don't know what the thumbnail is going to look like, but I hope it's special. And I hope people who end up watching this one really enjoy it. Because that was like one of the most Doubt games ever. You picked the wrong guy's gate to stand in, FedEx. Holy crap. But yeah, again, credit to Doubt for just being such a fun player and enjoying the game like this. And if he were to lose this game, he wouldn't have cared, right? He just wanted something that was fun. And he got in. He dropped 3 castles, all because he had 1 unit standing underneath FedEx's gate. And it was a good fight from FedEx as well. A credit to FedEx for all his trolliness and all the fun that he had too. Yeah, a little bit of Hodor action. Let me in meme. I mean, so many different options for that thumbnail later on. But yeah, Doubt's aggression pays off. I think the polls are pretty good arena civ. I know FedEx is probably making jokes there, but I don't think the Gurjaras are a civ win there. I think the polls have incredible late game, and it's shown that. Maybe Gurjaras are slightly better, but that's just not a normal arena game, right? 3 castles inside someone's base is not something you see every day. Holy crap. Dow collecting 24,000 resources, FedEx collecting just under 22,000. Again, very impressive considering he didn't have much gold within his walls. Just pulls things. But I think he would have had way more if Doubt wouldn't have had the original like hab on these farms. Because with polls, you need time and you need freedom to be able to focus on that economy, and Doubt didn't give him that. GG.